And you have a chance to check out a rare collection of items at the Appleton Police Department later today.
Yeah, Pauleen Lee is there to give us a sneak peek. Hi, Pauleen.
Well, good morning. We're in the department's public training room, and it's literally filled with all kinds of artifacts in here. We're going to introduce you to the man who collects, or collected, is collecting, whatever you'd like to say, collecting it all. It's Arnie Nelkoven. He's a retiree, historian, volunteer, man of many hats. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's just talk about some of the things you've come across, and I love these jackets.
This was a leather coat that was worn by our motorcycle officers in the 40s, 50s, and early 60s.
I don't know, I kind of like the style. I think it should, come back a bit.
Yeah.
Let's move on along to the table. What else do we have down here?
Well, this is what we call a riot stick, used for riots because it's long and you could stand like this and push people back with it. That's what this was mainly for.
Okay.
And this is what they called a shock stick. You put batteries in here, and you had a little button here, and if somebody touched it here, or we touched somebody here on the end, we'd push the button and you'd get a shock.
Does it still work?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it still works.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is kind of like the precursor to the stun gun and a taser, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Right, yep. This is what we call a door key.
Okay.
It's a battering ram that's used to open doors when you go on a search warrant.
Oh.
And that was donated by the Combined Locks Police Department.
Wow.
Around here we have artifacts that were donated by just about every department in the area. And then we have...
Let's move down to this, because you were telling me a very fun story about you using this back in the day.
Yep, I used this when I started for several years. The officers would take this out and set it up along the curb. And then we'd go out and put two cables across the street. The first cable, when a car hit it, would start this clock. The second one would stop it. And that would tell us how fast the car was going. And then if it was going over the speed limit, we would just jump out in the middle of the street and wave and flag them down.
That's it?
And 99% of them stopped. Every once in a while, somebody would go around us and...
I was going to say, what do you do when they don't stop?
They're gone.
Then you have to run and get out of the way, right?
You're right.
There you go.
And that's why we weren't too smart when we did it. And this is a breathalyzer. This was used again in the 50s and the 60s and some places even longer. When we first started our little collection, there was a police newspaper that was sent all over the police departments all over the United States. And the guy came here, and when we showed him our little museum at that time, and we showed him this. And it was put in this new newspaper and sent out. Well, a couple of weeks later, I got a letter from an officer up on the East Coast. And he says, I see your article about your breathalyzer in the museum. He says, we still use that. I can't do the words he used, but...
Right. Well, Arnie is a man of many stories. He says everything in here has its story. So if you want to come by, chat with him. This museum is open from 9 to noon, and we have more to check out coming up next.
Just from 9 to noon today?
Yeah.
Just from 9 to noon today, yep.
Okay, thanks, Pauline.
Good to know. Good stuff. I love it.